you look at what we're going through right now, this sideways movement, right? Again, there have been some points in previous cycles where, this has happened. 2013 coming up, we saw a sideways movement. 2017, yes, we saw it, but not as long as now, right? 2020, very little. Now we're seeing a bigger sideways movement, right? So even though history doesn't repeat, it tends to rhyme. It always tends to rhyme due to human behaviors or human greed or whatever, right? So we're seeing that. We're seeing that. But this cycle, again, you got to keep in mind, this cycle, we move faster than any previous cycle. That's why our sideways movement is longer than any previous cycle, because we were ahead of the game already. All these other charts are showing when Bitcoin gets back to its previous high, they came way later, months later after the halving event, but not this time. This time we broke it before the halving event. That's why our sideways movement is a little bit longer, but we will break through. And once we break through, it'll be like just like all the other cycles where we go up an exponential amount, and this time around, probably around $200,000 to $300,000. Right? Here's another one that's showing the same thing. Right, we go through these phases. You could draw these circles, Fibonacci circles or whatever you call them, right? But we're moving according to plan. According to plan. If you notice, okay, the cycle tops that this has predicted is a little bit off. Because according to this, the last cycle, we should have only hit 59,000. But guess what? We didn't. We broke through to 64 and then 69,000. And then if you look at this, the cycle before, it says we should only top out at 14K. But no, we topped out at 19.5K, right? So if anything, this estimates a little bit conservatively. So if this is saying that we should hit 210,000, that means we could be heading to 250,000 or even 240,000, something like that. But this is plotting our way to $1 million plus, and that is coming within, according to this, in 6 years or 7 years. 7 years will be 1.5, but in 6 years we will be at $1 million Bitcoin. I don't know if you can even fathom. I can't even fathom the day when, if I ever stream again at that point, that I bring up the chart and it shows Bitcoin in 7 figures, $1 million. And then I'll be saying, I told you so. I can't even imagine, right? Like I talk about big figures. I talk about 6 figures, 200,000, I fully, wholeheartedly believe can happen next year. But I can't imagine Bitcoin at $1 million each. But if you think about it, if we hit 250,000 next year, then it's just a 4x from there. Of course it can happen, but I can't compute it at this point. I can't measure the scale of that greatness yet. Tron minting a billion, or I should say Tether minting a billion of USDT on Tron. And I've covered Tron minting recently, and there's a lot of it. A billion here, a billion here, a billion here, a billion everywhere. Okay? And of course, this is a major signal for a massive move, because where's all the billions coming from? Well, it's definitely from the institutions of whales that are trying to get into the market right now, getting ready to buy, right? So it's pretty amazing. It's pretty darn amazing that we have so much. And if you're looking at like the supply, right? Supply of USDT, it's just been going up and up and up and up and up and up. We have over $100 billion worth of USDT out there waiting to buy, right? And that number keeps on going higher. So once the FOMO hits, It's going to hit hard. Retail investors are going to be buying up all your favorite alts and memes, and institutional investors will continue to load up on Bitcoin and ETH and several others like Sol and others, right? It's going to be absolutely amazing next year. And even, let's forget next year, even the end of this year. We're nearing September timeframe. We're getting close to it. I have a feeling September is going to be absolutely fantastic. October, November will be even better. And we will end this year in the 6-digit territory, over $100,000. So you don't even have to wait next year. The final 3 months of this year, I believe, are going to be insane. Insane. And here, another example, 85 million of USDT transferred to Bitfinex. Why do you think it's being transferred to Bitfinex? Because someone is getting ready to load up. Now, I've said a lot of things that are really bullish, but breakout next month, according to analysts, yes. Is 86K possible by the end of September? Hopefully, you guys did not get flooded out when Bitcoin was at $49,000. Because if so, and Bitcoin ends up being at 86,000 by the end of next month, you will really kick yourself and regret falling for the FUD, which is why I always tell you guys, don't panic sell. Continue to hold on DCA. DCA long term, take the guessing game out of it. Now, why do analysts think that a breakout in September is imminent and why 86K is possible? First of all, we know that that 50 basis point cut I talked about is in September, right? That's number one. All the accumulation stuff that I talked about will not stop. But if you look at the charts, there are a lot of charts that are showing similarities to previous pumps. And when we break out of our current slump, the next target is 86,000 right here. A megaphone pattern. We're breaking out of the megaphone pattern. Once we break out, the next target is $86,000. And here's the thing. That is just the beginning. I believe we have a real shot of closing in $100,000, 6 figures by the end of this year. And Carlos, thank you for that super chat, but you have been banned permanently forever. What else? Stock Money Lizard says, we are in the last 4 weeks below 70K. After this, we will be breaking out. And we will be heading higher. This is according to the last cycle or 2 cycles ago, right? We are very, very similar to the 2016-2017 cycle. So we're kind of at that same point right now, right? Again, waiting for that breakout. Here's another one that's showing this giant cup and handle pattern that will send us upwards. This one to 124,000. Doesn't mean that it's going to come by the end of this year, but maybe it will.